Right. All right, I'm gonna call this special town board meeting to order. Please rise and pledge the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag, of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This will be a very short special board meeting. Is to declare a resolution scheduling public hearing concerning Mount A and B sewer collection project. There you go. Good day. Mount A and B sewer collection project for the town of Elba Consolidated Sewer District. Do your thing.
In fairness, Lori sent me to this. I didn't do it. I'm reading both.
You can do it.
No.
This-
Yeah.
If you do this, I'll.
Fine. But do you want me to, you don't have to. Like, does not have to be read at all. I don't mind reading.
No, mostly it's
No.
it's the notice and we have to set a date.
Resolution scheduling hearing concerning Roussement A East collection project, for the town of North Elba Consolidated Sewer District, resolution number 17. Introduced by. Whereas the North Town Board duly established town of North Elba Consolidated Sewer District, the district in accordance with state law, and whereas the town engaged Spazo, Doty and Associates, SDA, as engineers to analyze Roussement A sewer collection systems, conditions and infiltration inflow issues. And whereas SDA studied and analyzed such systems and prepared the following two maps and plans, which have been duly filed with the clerk's office. Roussement A sewer collection and Roussement B sewer collection collectively referred to as map and plan, and the project described in the map and plan as detailed further below collectively referred to as the project. Whereas the map and plan detailed existing deficiencies, and after analyzing different options, recommended complete rehabilitation and selective repair replacement for the Roussement B portion of the project and complete rehabilitation for the Roussement A portion of the project. And whereas the total estimated cost of the project would be $5,420,000. And whereas the town has received a grant towards the project in the amount of $3,750,000 and intends to apply for additional grant funds and for financing through New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation. And whereas the town board wishes to authorize the project in accordance with town law section 202B. And whereas the town board has determined that the project is a type 1 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act and has sought to become lead agent, and as lead agent, assuming it does become lead agent, will perform secret review regarding the project as its August 12, 2025 town board meeting. And whereas although town of North Elba is a town within the Adirondack Park, the town does not contain state lands assessed at more than 30% of the total assessed valuation of the town. The submission of the state comptroller for the proposed expenditure is not required under town law 202B5. Now, therefore, it is hereby resolved as follows. The proposed improvements will include, but will not be limited to: 1, for the Roussement A portion of the project, rehabilitation of approximately 1,050 linear feet of sewer main, planning to use cured in place pipelining method, and rehabilitation of 24 manholes. And 2, for the Roussement B portion of the project, rehabilitation of approximately 7,000 linear feet of sewer main, also planning to use the cured in place pipelining method, conventional spot repairs and replacement for 2 sewer main sections, and rehabilitation and or repair of 13 manholes, and all ancillary and related repairs, and further including related preliminary, ancillary, and incidental costs. 2, the estimated cost of such improvements is $5,420,000. 3, the town received $3,750,000 grant for the project. The town intends to apply for additional grant funds and for financing through New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation. The cost of the improvements will be paid such grants and from obligations to be issued by the town of North Elba on behalf of the district. 4, the town board shall meet and hold a public hearing at the North Elba Town Board Meeting Room, 2693 Main Street, Lake Placid, New York, at 5:30 p.m. on August 12, 2025, to hear all persons interested in the improvement of the district's facilities described below, and to take such other and further action as may be required or authorized by law. The five, the town board hereby authorizes and directs the North Alba Town Clerk to duly publish and post a notice of public hearing not less than 10 days nor more than 20 days before the public hearing date as required by town law 202B. Duly adopted this 30th day of July 2025 by the following vote.
Thank you.
So what's the vote?
Need a roll call
Well,
vote,
I need one vote first.
what's that?
A vote first. Wants to move and vote yes, so.
I'll move,
I'll second.
discussion. Any further discussion? What we did is declared the project and set a public hearing date. Roll call, I'm an aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Got it? All right, thank you.
You set the public hearing date for?
That was in that
That was in
document.
the-
I was.
Yeah.
You weren't paying attention to every word.
No.
I listened to all of it, but I don't know what you said.
I missed 3 words, I think. I missed.
Bear to do and here too, and there,
All right, I'm gonna take a motion to close this special town board meeting. Dick and Rick, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay, so we're out at 3:37. With that,
That was
Hi,
very
Rick.
efficient.
you weren't kidding, it has to be. Flowers look great, and I was embarrassed to learn that you did all 1 week by yourself, Robin. We never intended that, Sharice. I know. How are you from now through the rest of the season?
Well, the good news is that apparently the visa process is a lot worse than Shelley thought, so I'm gonna try not to smile when I say I'm gonna have her longer than she wanted to be here. So that's good for me.
Once you got denied?
No, they sent it back with this is very nice, but we need 75 additional forms. So,
Oh.
yeah, it's gonna be a process.
Goodness, okay.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be like a 3-month turnaround.
So the
time.
program's okay.
Yeah, we're fine. We are stretched really thin because it's been so hot and dry.
Yeah,
I mean, I think we dumped 1,200 gallons of water today and she's still watering. I would still be watering if I
Yeah.
weren't here, because I'm not done.
okay.
But
Well, we can.
No, it's
we can
okay.
let you go.
So-
That's,
just a note, rugby weekend.
yeah,
We had 3 places on Main Street that were damaged plant wise. 12 places that were damaged Ironman weekend. Just
wow.
throwing it out there.
Give us a report back after Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we.
In the past 5 years, the most damage I have had has been Ironman weekend. And I will tell you that in the last 3 years, for sure, if you combine all the other damage, it's still less than I have Ironman weekend.
Wow, you said a dozen places?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my noteworthy, just something to throw out there.
Well, thank you for it, and everything looks good.
Most things we have had more deer damage this year than any other year I can remember.
Where, Craigwood?
No,
Everywhere.
not Craigwood. No, they haven't touched anything out there.
Yeah.
We have a professional understanding.
Yeah.
They've left all, but here, St. Agnes Church, Burnham, LPCA,
Wow.
anywhere you go, they have eaten.
So you gotta go to all marigolds next year then.
Right.
The squirrels like
They won't
those,
touch them.
I know, you're
but the
right.
squirrels will. The squirrels
Oh.
love marigolds.
Yeah, because my wife said that, somebody told Patty that, she goes, they're ugly.
In a few places and they look nice, but
All right.
I'm not planting them everywhere.
Thank you for coming in. Things are
Okay.
looking good.
All right, if you think of anything you need from me, let me know. I'll be watery.
All right, good deal. Thank you. Todd, come on up.
It's lawsuit season.
Well,
Is that just just before hunting season or something like that?
30 days after the final.
Okay, okay, just
It
checking.
is, just before hunting season, yes. We'll get started anyhow. So the little guys, SCAR, Small Claims Assessment Review. Campion property again.
Oh,
There's always
wow.
a Campion.
Dupree Street again?
No, this is out Turtle Pond Road, not on the water.
Okay,
His mom lives out there and Doesn't like the price, so I got lower 39 on it, they went 350. It'll be too hard to come to a conclusion. And Pelcher. Two little cabins that you could drive off the road into when you're leaving Saranac Lake heading back, next to Turtle Pond.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, so one of those. I'd have 134,000, you want 78 on it. So, okay, I don't know if there's a 78,000 on the property. How?
okay,
So
so,
no biggie there.
okay,
185 Old Military, of course, drags on. Derek and I have both given dates that we can be available to comment on potential resolutions from a pre-trial hearing. We don't have a solid date for today, that's gonna be, all else fails, we go to court April 26th to May 1st. Next year. Another year, yeah.
and of course, you know, Todd and I have talked about this, the downside is with the environment and Medicaid losses.
It is worth less now.
Yeah, so time has pushed the favoritism toward them.
Well, the business is worth less, but is the property?
It's a pretty specific use property.
Change that.
You have some apartment building?
With oxygen.
Yeah, right.
Housing, yeah.
I think it'd be great.
So there's that.
Senior citizen housing, but next to the health center.
There's an emergency.
I almost said that.
So Article 7's, Bluebird Holdings, which is like across from Dancing Bear. They bought it for 6.2 back in 22, rehabilitated the whole place. And don't like their 7.7 on it. And the bar gave them 6.398, they didn't like that. So now they want 1 million. Which is a legal position to leave lots of room. You're dragging down the center point, right? Yeah. Compromise, basically.
Yeah.
And then Bill Saunders had 3 properties, which he was unhappy with. 7.9 mil. For the big waterfront piece, which is 350 waterfront feet. And a 5,935 square foot house. And then wonderful. So whatever that's probably gonna be a battle of the appraisal.
So we're gonna have to hire somebody?
I wouldn't be shocked. But Jackie is.
Where does he wanna go to from 7.9?
All his requests are 10% of their assessments. So it's just setting another legal position
Yeah,
in the center point.
and do we have a history with him to go through that?
No, I caught wind that this was gonna happen last year.
Okay.
Not gonna business and every time.
No, degree of justification and,
Well, when you're at almost $8 million, there seems to be room, but when you've got 8 million sales just across the lake, lesser properties,
right,
I think I'm justified.
yeah,
But you only mentioned appraiser once, and have you said everyone else, everything else would be simple. You don't think the hotel's gonna, oh, you said about all the appraisers for the hotel too.
The hotel would be in.
Yeah.
And then also Saunders.
Sounds that way. At least on that one, the other, a little more.
I'm willing to pick that property up. 10%.
I'll sit back. Just let me.
so. I don't wanna interrupt too much, but when we talk about appraisals. And you know what we went through recently, just getting our own figures.
But that's pretty complex
Yeah,
property.
these are like straightforward.
Okay.
So we have water sales.
Okay. Will you use the same
Be a few
people?
$1,000 list.
Is there different people to go to or?
Well,
Are
once
we-
Article 7, generally let Shackner's outfit, Jackie.
Yeah,
Take care of these, and I'll go on her advice.
okay, but you remember the Fisher situation?
That got complicated because.
Yeah.
switch companies in the middle. So
Exactly.
that's kind
So you don't anticipate that kind of,
No.
okay,
of sure.
okay.
And then the other Saunders one is 213 Victor Herbert. So Jerry Strack. Really big places. 6,374 square foot house. At 5. So no, it's one time.
And he's done a bridge to that recently.
It's top. And
I actually didn't think it was a short term.
it had been, I don't, it continues. And then he's.
Not looking it up.
It's gonna be 3
Places that are.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a short term rental.
Well,
Fine by me.
That's why he purchased.
I still think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Then there's a vacant between the two properties we're talking about. At 407.
407 Builda. Someone could build
Yeah.
it.
And his driveway to the nice place down the road. That's through.
I think that's your sign down there on the corner. Well, not your sign, but you're related.
Be careful.
We have. Longview. Like it's in the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
neighborhood.
Yeah,
Actually, Longview, is a number.
that's a pretty good list.
Well, thankfully, it's the end of my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long enough.
Yeah.
See it.
Awesome.
I'm not thinking they're doing appraisal. I would think. So-
So
1/10.
so, like you said, the fact of going so low, just, that's, so.
Can't you guys meet in the middle? Well, the middle's lower if you go low bottom. It's a strategy.
Yeah,
It works.
well, good luck
We have to build the values for 3 years afterward.
for the update.
Thank you.
Represent us well. Yeah, thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Ed.
Go ahead, hang around. Listen to the rules go.
Haley?
So like, just get up here. Come on.
I like my sessions. Trying to fall down.
You came out with your
I did. I ate half a bag of M&Ms and I'm like.
So she's okay.
The comp plan is theoretically supposed to be done soon.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, we're meeting
I
with them.
haven't told anyone this.
They've requested $2,000 like increase in the budget because $3,000. They were like,
So, and it's,
What is this, but
no, is it 6 or is it 3?
I thought it was 3.
Okay, so it's 1,500 each.
Because they went over budget.
So how moving forward in the conversation, we are having a call with them on Friday at 11:30.
Sometimes.
And I don't have a problem paying an additional $1,500 to get the product, but I'm not about to just say, hey, here's $3,000 without saying, tell us where your crossover were, like, show us where you spent more time than you thought, and like, just to have accountability for a crossover run.
Want notified, Dana?
No, that's for the workshop, grants, that's done. This was Alex, who's the fixed lead for the comp.
Okay,
Do the Anthony 10% rule.
Yeah.
Use it.
I mean, it's now almost August and they're like, I mean,
I haven't heard from
literally, they're like dragging their feet because they're over budget. So I think it's worth paying. I'm just not gonna pay them without a conversation.
I also submitted a budget request. We did have a decent amount left in our budget grant that was supposed to be allocated toward like services, but we just don't need that much, so we're gonna, they have that transfer over to contractual services, so then get reimbursed.
So we won't even actually have to pay this.
That's
The
true,
grant's
yeah,
gonna
we
pay it.
actually get reimbursed.
you make a good supervisor.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I did the reporting for that last week. I went to cannabis. Meeting. And I told Emily, it wasn't earlier, but throwing it out there, the Adirondack Smart Growth Grant is open again, and it's money, you don't have to pay anything, you just like money.
There's no.
Yeah, there's no match, and so. And so it's a small thing, it's only $130,000, but
Smart growth,
yeah, so we
Which is the
have,
pump track.
yeah, we can have two. But no, we have open now.
So when we were just talking to Sarah, I think looking at our master plan for the showgrounds, like a natural fit might be, because they really like recreation. Is to have a small bathroom facility at the pump track dog park. And so not for use of the athletic fields, right? Because it would just probably be 2 stall. Because the max grant is 150.
And 1/3.
So similar to what, something like. Sort of.
Yeah, I feel like we've had this conversation before, but maybe it was, but we actually did doing about,
Expensive.
yeah, and because,
I was just trying to do that, but of the nuance.
Yeah. yeah, Steve. But yeah, something small, like very self, like it's literally just like 2 bathrooms.
well,
Yeah, because
Three holes in the building.
we tried to, when we did the original pump track application, we actually tried to do a bathroom. And so we have some information on bathrooms and costs. But it was so expensive and the smart growth was so small that we just chose to do pump track and not pump track and bathroom. So why don't we go back and ask?
and I remember this because you remember who we got an estimate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was twice the amount of the grant.
Yeah, so that's where we took out
And
the bathroom.
understandable, I don't mean it was.
No, it was very reasonable, it's just, it isn't what we expected, and therefore that's what Emily and I were discussing. We have all this information, we have old numbers, those numbers updated, I think it's a great thing, and it would be just be used, as Emily said, for that area,
Yeah,
not the fields or anything, just for the court area.
do you think, could that grant work in conjunction with when we apply for the North Regional,
Yeah.
northern border
For what?
for bathrooms? Because that northern border end of funding is based on economic growth, much like smart growth grant is. So I imagine we could use, we could be successful in a bathroom situation with 2 sources of funding.
The northern border is like a huge,
Say,
it's like the only northern border that I can think of right now is the Catalyst one, which is like millions of dollars for
Well,
infrastructure.
Don't you think I'm thinking?
So you're thinking like a big bathroom facility.
Like
They're still building, but that's.
like the 12 building, that's where regional would come.
12.
The idea about the steel buildings.
Oh, yeah, but I just don't think they're together. Like smart growth is meant to be like a very, project focused, small, I mean, that's why it's only.
Yeah, and they got
$100,000.
their name.
Okay. All right, I can put their name on that. All right,
So for the pump track, the RFP is out until the 6th. They've only get 2 responses. Companies we've spoken to, and we have 1 already. I don't know, what, Rick, have you had any other updates on the? But you ride a bike.
From Payton?
Yeah.
No, that's
Um,
somebody who's trained.
That actually solved our problem. And then the dog park and the pump track, last time I talked to Kenny, he was thinking, you could get up there to clear that. Yeah, likely. And once we put the order into the draft, that was.
You're not supposed to.
Yes.
Take your head, yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
To something else for the snow.
Thanks, Ken.
And that takes a few months to get here anyway, so no pressure on Ken. And that's it. That's all.
good. And you and Ken are still working lodge road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever the bid document is ready for that.
Yeah, okay. Anything else? Could you take just a couple sentences and remind me how it works with Development Commission is done now. But in the event projects come up or whatever, we can bring back certain committees for different,
New committees, like we were talking about pump track and dog park. So I don't know if it's like a committee that's very specific about dog park and pump track, or if it's a committee that's about the master plan forward for the
Right.
showgrounds. I don't know. Part of me wants to stay away from the higher level part and just have it like a very specific committee that is for dog park, pump track.
agreed.
And so then it would be like Rotary would have a seat at the table because he's so involved with dog park. And then we've had a couple other community members express interest in both either pump track or dog park. It's like, this is kind of what we were hoping would naturally happen. I don't, without have, it's still, that being said, there's still like no structure. So
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it keeps saying it's under Haley's office, like that's not sure. So, does she?
So what is Haley?
It's up to Haley.
Yeah, yeah, if it's the same problems, it's on you.
There's three projects and there's three small groups.
I think
Who's the-
I think
who's
it's
the-
one group, or are you talking about something
I'm
else?
just saying, if you're saying project, three distinct different projects, you have three different groups. How does the town?
Haley,
So,
and you can have liaisons on there too.
Yeah.
But Haley's always the connecting person,
in what manner, I guess,
that she'd be reporting back to the town and village board,
so they would,
the same way that she did with development commission.
And it simplifies everything.
So I don't know if we're in a place where we wanna say that we're seeking individuals to volunteer for a bike park.
I think we're
Dog
close to
park.
doing that. I don't think we're there yet.
And I probably wanna have Haley, have a conversation with Rotary before, to know that they're like a valued person at the table, so they don't see it and say, wait, I thought we were doing that, but like, no, you're part of the conversation.
Good enough.
Yep.
I see. Hey, brother.
I don't have a lot.
Never through Penny.
You've had so much to do, you gotta fill everybody in.
I just, there.
You told me earlier, you had a lot to discuss today.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I met with Rotary about the dog.
You're on the committee, done.
We'll see, they got two ideas.
Thought you were the nicest guy, I said, about, you're talking about kids.
I didn't swear. I am, like, I spoke with you and Steve this morning, say the horse show is going well down there, but like our involvement. You know, up until this point is gonna be taking a step back soon, because I do wanna focus on getting the dog park kind of grubbed out per se. Well, I have that rental machine, it's, might need it another week or whatever it is, what it is, but are we all cleared to move forward with? We discussed the dog park, or any. We need to contact prior to starting,
No,
I'm not saying.
You're okay. Now, the part I don't know is what you guys decide and accept as the size of it. I've heard 145 by 145, so,
That's a footprint that I was. It's one.
yeah,
Which I think
Whether
is
that
based
could
on the
be-
master plan, and but it that, it's like what works on the site. If
I
that-
think that'll,
Okay.
I think that,
that in relation to. When it was just spent,
to what.
what's the, how is that in relation to the previous, it was just spent?
I couldn't tell you, I don't know.
Yeah,
what
that
size
was park to.
was.
that was like long and really narrow.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I've been out, I was out there, I just.
Yeah.
I don't know the dimension for the showgrounds.
Nowhere
Tell you, 145 by 145, I think is pretty impressive. Maybe like even Rick had mentioned, if it's based on square footage, it could be like immediately longer, make it a little narrow, and we could go wider with it when you're looking at that property. You're gonna start encroaching into the track that way. I think the square is the best way to go. But if you need longer, and it's doable, maybe also shove the track down.
Oh, I'm not suggesting making it bigger.
My only concern was if somebody lets their dog loose in there. It's a long ways to the back corner. Shrink up and down. Yeah.
Sounds like their problem.
I like your idea. It'll work well with the other area.
And speaking with Rotary, and I guess we design going in there, like they'll divide it for smaller
All
dogs,
dogs.
so it's not like one particular dog has full range, they're gonna separate the big dogs and one. Couple gates for maintenance purposes to be able to get a truck in there if you need to. and
Yeah.
whatnot, but whatever, I'm gonna try to tackle that within the next 2 weeks of my goal to get all of those trees out of the way.
Yeah.
We're trying to leave some strategic trees there for shade. Whether that's all pending horse show. because there is
You'll be the
priorities,
first to know, I know.
you know, yeah, obviously, we've all seen the line building. Well, I think everything's on schedule. We did a visit of the wall company, I can't remember the name. Did a site visit to see
Wait a minute,
how
wait a
they're
minute.
gonna get in there. And I don't know if there's a delay, he's saying that walls haven't been
Okay.
important.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it hasn't gone to production, but do you know if Steve has the final fence that you need, Darcy? Dave for a permit? You haven't seen them yet, I
We
think.
have not seen.
Okay,
I mean, for the building plans, for the foundation, we're good.
oh, you saw the superior wall.
We saw the exterior walls and we issued that permit.
Okay,
Sorry,
good.
Building
that's a
itself,
permit
not yet.
issue. Thank you.
That's what the deal.
Yeah. The next ones are coming quick.
Yeah.
Bids come in tomorrow, or Friday. Yep,
Got my, like, I'm not doing a lot of paving this year, because I am renting a paver to do everything myself. Kind of experimental, we have paved in the past, we counties owned a paver years ago. We sucked at it, and to be honest, I think we can do better this time. Anyways, 9-1 is our tentative to start paving, and I do have the paver for a month, I want. I know we talked about stuff between pickleball, I really think that'd be asphalt and minimal, I don't think it's a big. Price tag, you know, 20,000 stone, if you need tons of asphalt.
Well, you're not talking about. Are you?
no,
In between the pickleball courts.
Okay.
just keep the dirt.
Eventually that parking lot's going away.
Okay.
Tiny parking lot. No reason people can't park in the giant parking lot. Like, I don't like the parking lot right next to the court there. That was a dick meet for some reason. People couldn't walk that far.
Going to exercise, they can't walk.
Yeah. I just think there's a better use.
Let's
for
save
that.
energy, let's save
More courts.
Yeah. Anything but, parking. There's a giant. parking lot.
If I had to give up on the parking, I'll do it for more courts. But that's the only way.
I thought you would do it with more fence.
Well,
Well, don't- you're gonna have
That
to-
goes out.
That right now.
They come in, they go out the court.
And that's, I didn't know, I didn't need.
Dick will get a t-shirt.
That's right. I'm doing it. The other, the one I have is wearing out.
Boy, you turned that conversation.
He's listening, so, I'm working on getting, as you know, trucks.
Yeah,
We ordered the truck that we still have received in August of 23, which we will get. They're saying this year, they're December-ish.
It's on 26.
So I am slated for next year's budget for 26 to replace another truck. Go with current pricing, if I start my bill today in 26, we're at just shy of $360,000. This is for identical trucks that we've had.
Yeah, they're all Western Stars.
All the same plow package, nothing fancy. They are now added, little words in the contract, so tariffs and surcharges.
Wait a second, we don't, the tariffs,
Oh, yeah.
that's what I'm.
Well, somebody's gonna pay him and that goes to the. Example on one truck on a current bill that they have going, they've already received a $13,000 surcharge in materials. Or bill, so that takes you 360, now you're at 373.
with no definitive, delivery price or date, not knowing, are you gonna get another surcharge or whatever happens with the tariff, whichever way they go. That being said, I found a 2025 identical to what we have currently available, already made, only have the change I'd have to make a plow. Probably about a $1,500 exchange, plow off,
So-
it's all plumb for the directional.
So it's new.
25, the difference is the 25, 26.
Right.
Budget one for 26 will be a 26, so it'll probably be a 28 by the time you get it. What we could get on track with what our turnover rate was. The same with it, you all got to decide this, but I could get it for 337,
Delivered the way you want.
and I could have it by September. If y'all did, or January when the funds are,
Sign on the dotted line.
okay,
Yeah, yeah.
so I'll have to,
It would be done now.
oh, it's crazy, I mean, $40,000, and I need some.
I mean, it's the big delay. I know it's all one process, getting all this. But what's the biggest delay? Production,
It's a plow equipment,
that's what I thought.
the trucks are
I
coming.
mean, yeah, the cabin chassis are coming through.
And we pay a monthly fee to have a truck sitting,
I know.
which is.
And And that's my next step, like if we wanna buy this, truck, we would have to, if we don't, till January. Pay that monthly fee.
Right.
But that's our choice,
So,
that's what makes sense.
yeah, and I mean, that's not a big dollar, but it's still money that's kind of, I think we should jump on it and commit to it. And then say we can do the mini bid, go out and bid again, the way that they formulate this and we've been back on schedule with a 6-year turnover, but I do see now that we're starting undercoating on the trucks that we've done the last 3 years. I think we can start stretching these out further than every 6 years, maybe get 7 or 8 years.
Is it a 17 or a 19 that you'll get?
This will be a 19, the 17 is one that we're waiting
Oh, okay.
on, that we were,
Now okay, so we're using obviously Western Star, Tenco. Who is the plow equipment?
technical,
So we're only really dealing with 2 vendors.
yes.
Okay, I didn't realize the plow. So I know you like the Tenco product.
Well, they're all in the same boat. If you
Okay,
call
that's my
the
question.
said
Okay.
if you get on the list today, 18 months. Talked to the salesman today named Justin Sullivan, just out of curiosity, like, can we streamline it any quicker? No. It's gonna take you 1.5 years just to get your.
Yeah, I don't want
If you ordered it today,
I don't want to stretch this out anymore than it is, but from the time we order the cabin chassis, when is that, how long does it take for that to be built?
that, our truck got delivered just this past spring of the year, 8 months.
Year and 8 months just to get the cabin chassis.
That's not.
It's crazy.
Oh, no, that's ridiculous. I mean, to get the cabin chassis, I don't like the Tenco part either. That seems like, and it seems like there should be someplace around this country, cabin chassis.
I agree. The problem is being that like when you're a small fish in a big pond in this industry. And the state or the county comes and they want 100 new trucks.
Hmm.
You're to the back of the line.
Oh, because the
The state
city's buying
the
the
big
fleet.
president over us, doesn't matter when you bought it or how important this one down there, they don't care. They're just a
We
number.
don't care about the one.
Yeah.
plow,
One flower every 2 years.
That's.
No, man.
Business model, the cabin chassis, it seems like it should be, well,
So how do we buy it? Fund?
From Don's.
For this year, come out of fund balance this year. budget for next year.
So I mean, I'd just like to get the ball rolling,
Yeah,
at least
do it.
commit and have Sandy Ladd get in touch with you, the procedure, right, with me.
Even though this is work session, do we want to reconfirm this next week?
we can.
You know,
Yeah, we can run it.
I just think for the price tag here, and I mean, the plow equipment, they told me right out of the gate, it's like $5,000. From the 25 to the 26, what they know already, but unknown is a scary.
That's it.
Yeah,
This is gonna be settled maybe tomorrow or Friday, August 1st.
and
Then it changed August.
and in regards to trucks, we still have like a 2000 it's not a plow truck, it's the haul truck, no plow equipment. Larry Street is last year, I believe it was. He put a new dump body on the truck. It's really in good shape, because we really, it doesn't see a lot of salt usage. I would like to take the dump body off that truck and put it on either the 19 or the 17. Because the 2005 now it needs like exhaust work, we can't get parts for it.
Oh, okay.
And then you can park that truck out just to, have chassis part, and somebody else can do whatever they wanna do with that truck, maybe give 10 grand or 15 grand, or sell it as a. Freight truck or whatever, somebody, whatever they wanna do with it, but I think 2005, it's 20 years.
How are you getting rid of your 2019?
Yeah, I'm gonna put a body on it.
That's what-
2017, that's.
So you wanna replace that 2005 with a 19?
Yeah, at least where you can still get parts for it.
Yeah,
So the next
exactly.
10 years, hopefully that everything's not obsolete and,
Because you do need that.
yeah.
That
you
means
need a
for whatever
whatever,
else.
all truck within winter, if you got a haul snow. Or that extra truck for hauling apple and whatnot. I think it'd be minimal to exchange that dump body. I don't think we can do it in-house, because we will need. Somewhere over the, something to lift a dump body off. Not saying. To try, but we feel better. I think we're capable, but I would feel better having to do it.
Yes,
Which I'll get a quote. But
Whichever way.
for the,
Yeah,
There.
for the 26th season, maybe we could do it next spring here.
No, yeah, I think it's good to have that.
Then the 17 just try to sell outright, or they won't, like I said, they won't do a trade, and they'll give you an evaluation on the truck. And then buy it from, you can try the auctions international. The previous buyer of our last 2 trucks. Already told me, we have another one, let me know, so
Right.
we could have a potential buyer already, but not knowing. My crystal ball works about as it does.
So you had mentioned the auctions, you weren't successful the last few years.
No, just. Ray tries to get something to nothing, you're only getting into the 20 range for trucks, I think you should have got $35,000-$40,000 for it, that's where he finally contacted us, cause I had to tell the name. The doors, so just called us and said, what are you trying to get?
Okay.
We threw a number out, he said, yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
Then we got another one, take that one too, so I think you take a 17.
Okay.
So including the 2005, how many Volvos do you have left?
Well, 3 currently, the
Including the
17,
5.
19 and the 5.
Yeah, that's right. So, but once we get this process done, you'll have 1 left,
Yes.
1 for a haul truck.
Yeah.
can you move that big machine on your trailer? No. Well, you can't walk it down there,
Sure you can.
really?
Yeah,
Sneak
Happens
it,
after dark.
sneak it through the airport?
that's all.
Okay,
State's gonna pay that road in.
Very secret.
yeah, but-
They're starting, in 2 weeks, you're starting to pay their roads.
Okay.
Why not?
Else wanna discuss it?
Obviously not tear it up, but we have 3 pads on it, you don't have like your deep trousers.
right,
Narrow.
okay,
We won't damage it.
okay.
Scrap. Might improve it.
Well, then maybe get a company.
Kenny, last but not least, please know the appreciation, everything you and crew is doing to make so much possible.
That's what we
I'm telling you. There isn't a department here that can run without you, so,
Easy,
Get out the
easy.
door here.
yeah.
can start buying.
It's,
They're easy.
Yeah. but
Well,
it's
if you
the
wanna-
truth.
Budget's good.
No, we can try.
We've tackled a lot of stuff in the last couple of years.
Work hard and they're being,
Yeah,
obviously, trying to squeeze a lot of time frame.
Yeah.
Get it done.
it's appreciated. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Just for this one next question I.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Just hang
All
tight.
this here, we can.
Nice and easy buildings,
Yeah.
it's now like not secure, again, so curious on the time of removing. Junk pile and or can we put rocks back in the signs that say.
Okay, I have to pick that conversation up with Jim
Yeah.
Dugan,
Okay,
because he's trying to secure. Were you with me? What's he trying to do? Bring up a 100-yard trailer and then move that? Walk-in trailer, or that's not a good
I haven't
idea?
heard anything.
Can you help with this and confirm with Shannon what she'll take and what she won't, like,
I think the bit is, we'll try to get the big metal I beams out of there, but I think the way that it's all commingled is gonna have to go elsewhere, whether like clear or.
okay,
Can we hire that? Will we get reimbursed from the county?
I gotta check that. I was hoping a good share of this could go into our pit, cause we're closing it in September.
I know.
I don't know how it goes picking.
Right, yeah, no, I mean, I think that. Pour that down with the battle rock, it looks like it's kind of fine, there's not like a lot of large pieces that you could pull out of there. Where you're gonna get just lumber out,
Okay,
I think, like I say, the way that's all. Mashed, it's gotta go somewhere else.
I can tell.
Not saying we couldn't help
Having a suit
assist or
tomorrow.
load or something, but we could put the rocks back early.
yes,
If you wanna do that, just
Yeah.
to try to keep people out there or.
right, cause now anyone can drive right in there again.
Bonfire. They don't.
Yeah.
It's already in the rubble,
Too late.
the other building burned down. So where are you trucking, where would you truck it to? Like, where are you trucking? Like here?
You truck it, you'd have to go like Lake Clear or.
But I have to find out what the county's willing to pay to get rid of that.
Yeah.
I was hoping a share of it, we could help them.
So next year.
Anyway,
I think that's the downfall with the
Thank
large.
Yep.
Thanks, Kenny, that was it.
Lumber and asphalt.
That's it.
What else do we have? Septic pump outs are scheduled for August 5th and 6th.
Okay.
Is the board
Have a good night.
tentatively adopting that revision August 12th at your next
yes,
Oh, it's just a public,
meeting?
and
Right,
where were written comment going
I thought we said the code office.
to? I'm assuming nothing,
we did not.
because you left it on.
We have septic law on the agenda, right? Yep.
Okay.
But here's what I don't understand, just because it's on the agenda, I have to run it through Lori, have it filed. The state, it's at the town clerk.
Yes,
Yeah,
so, okay, I just wanted to make sure, is attending a SOA meeting on Saturday, and we just wanted to verify the date of your next meeting and that it's on the
and
agenda.
in fact, Rick is gonna attend as well.
Oh, okay, great, so then, I know we talked about it, David and I still fully support an independent septic engineer for the inspections.
Yeah,
So, who are you reaching to
well, I,
Swazos?
that was an issue that for us to talk
Yeah,
about.
okay.
We brought it up prior that Sean Doty. Probably related, but I don't know. In any regard, he is an engineer that does this same service for the town of Bolton. He is well versed in all septic systems, in DEC law. And does inspection reports and backs up the town of Bolton. My suggestion is that we utilize a person like that to get on that lake and start letting people know they're not adhering to the first part of our law, which says, every 3 to 5 years, you need to either have an inspection or you have to be part of our pump out programs. There's probably 80% of the lake that's just burying their head in the sand.
Mhm.
I 100% support that, but I think that we should probably have an RFP process for that.
Oh, for sure, I'm suggesting the type of person that we need.
And we can even ask them to write the RFP so that, because they might know what we're looking for, then we know what we're looking for.
Right.
And then they can respond.
And what the options are, hourly or retainer.
Right.
So again, I feel like I'm dense. How do we file, how do we know who actually has done it? Is there like,
We
because I
have,
know there's like a file and a file cabinet, but like. This seems to be a little bit more involved.
Darcy has every year's pump out
Mhm.
Every listing of every address, in the pump out things, done it. And
Yeah.
a schedule
Does it
saying
change
For the
that,
last 6 years.
3 to 5 years.
We even have years worth of notes on which systems were showing deficiencies and whether they've done any work or not. So we have a great starting point, wouldn't you say?
It's a starting point.
Right,
so I think that's where I'm
I'm
going.
confident about the notes that have been appeared in the last few years.
right.
The older notes, they're nothing that I am like privy to, like exactly where they came from, who provided this information.
Yeah, like some of them are just like literally handwritten and I don't know whose handwriting that is.
Yeah,
So the hope would be that it's now organized.
Yes.
And you know, it's
So
like typed in.
we have a
Darcy.
database in Excel,
Okay, that's what I was going with.
we
Like,
have all of the information and we are regulating it, not SOA or.
So I guess to conclude mine, so when you look at this sheet, you say. On acid drive, whatever.
Yeah,
You say it was done August of 2022, so they should, you say 3 to 5, what is the actual, like,
Wants not to.
correct. If it's seasonal, every 3 years, there should be an inspection at a minimum.
so you'll have another tab saying,
Yeah,
and 3 years from this date. You can just look over and see this in non-seasonal is
5 years.
5 years, so you'll have all of them.
Backwards.
Right, inverse.
The seasonal gets used less than it's here.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
yes,
Let's put that.
But the only thing, Jason, I'll say is that no one's abiding by the
Well,
law. So like,
that-
no one's following.
I think that's ancillary to what my point is, we have a very distinct idea of
Yeah.
all the addresses and. what the
Yes,
necessity
we
is.
updated all of that
Okay,
because there was some missing information from the original list that we got from SOA.
so then to kind of go to Emily's point, can't go with somebody if we can't. Have not done it.
Right,
There's really only like 6 camps that get pumped out.
Yeah.
6 to 10.
We have a lot of.
we do.
Be opening up, worms they can't handle.
Well, this is why we need this third party, neutral person to come in.
But still, if they identify
You're
two
right,
camps that are problematic,
yeah.
now you have to.
Well, not really, we're going to say you need to hire an engineer, design a system. So, right, the trouble is finding someone to install that system within the time frame of the summer. It's a lot of work, and we were just talking as far as the inspections, even if we got to 20. This is like 5 years before we even get to go to all of the
Right,
camps.
yeah.
Sure.
Like, this is a long-term, so,
In our database.
We soon to be, or improved upon.
we have one.
Yeah.
Improved upon.
Don't, look at him, don't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you have to
Are
start.
we keeping track of, size of camp, in other words, bedrooms, size of tank?
Not bedrooms, it's the size of the tank. Last pump out, previous pump out, if any work had been done, some kind of notes, a contact. The ownership and maybe a contact phone number or email.
My point is with the size, I mean, obviously, the size of the structure, to
Yeah.
me, the number of bedrooms would
Right.
determine, obviously, there is a correlation anyway. But
Yeah,
That's a big point.
Yeah.
In other words, but we know how big the tank is, and if it's joint with other properties,
yeah, some of that we know.
that's what, but we're building on that.
Oh, absolutely,
Okay, that's,
yeah.
Just going back to Rick's questions, there's a challenge. And you have, like, so you were saying that the challenge is there's a dysfunctional working or stress issue. You were saying it's hard to find someone to come and engineer and have it designed and built within a time frame where they would, they would prohibit them from being fined by the town.
Oh, we weren't even talking about the fine part of it, I'm just talking about the practical, right, it's a limited season. We need to have an engineer who would be able to go and do the appropriate testing, design something, and then to find actually someone to install it within this much working time.
And that's
Sure.
not on us.
Yeah, usually
Sure.
We're only doing the inspection.
Oh, yeah,
But if we inspect and they say we're finding them in violation,
Right,
what is the consequence again?
$950 a day.
So that this is,
today or,
Well, it depends on first, second, third.
no,
so I guess this is where this is where I'm leading to is that. We have the fine system, but then we have that challenge that you mentioned.
Right.
So what is the fair and equitable way to have it?
I think there's language in the law that just says, right, we have to have some kind of an agreement and that they are providing proof that they're working on it.
So the agreement between the town, your office and that.
Yeah.
Is what would be the starting point that would sort of define, but then what's the mechanism that if they're not following? What's that threshold?
Well,
I know it's case by
we-
case.
Yeah, we are going to say, we found your system to be in violation and you have X amount of time to remedy that, right? The starting point is to hire a engineer and go for it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
as long as we've had that, I feel like, we don't need to fine like they're paying the engineer.
Yeah, no, you want a solution.
Yeah.
That's.
So,
You really aren't gonna be staying there if there isn't a system.
I like that.
yeah.
That's the.
But I paid all that money for a dock. Almost something.
Okay, I think that's it for our septic and, oddly or not oddly, all of a sudden this starting, where are we, Wednesday, so maybe I think Sunday, Britt has received some STR complaints on the hotline. We've gotten emails, we've gotten calls in the office, and so far they are all lacrosse related. So did lacrosse do away with, their
Their
enforcement? Is
I
there?
don't know who actually leads it now, do you, Jeremy? But they do have their own internal enforcement when they hear about.
Okay,
We should definitely let Kevin know about those. complaints.
We talked to him this morning about one.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Was it coursing?
no,
You got
it's-
it.
No,
No,
you had
He
one.
used to.
So there's no,
Yeah, I don't know who,
because there was, I think, on the time I was on the village, there was some issues. And that lacrosse developed this particular.
They do, they-
address it.
they wanna tackle this stuff as quick as.
At one point,
Well,
they
then we
actually.
Rick should do a list.
Yeah.
Of the properties that
Yeah.
And
were
with the.
violation, yeah, it was all noise.
Yeah.
And after this ordinance. like that.
Yeah, this was all 1 a.m. After 1 and, okay, so we'll do this.
I had this morning.
You did?
I've got to find out the address that the state police would.
Was it good?
To know how it came through. I think so. We know Saturday nights.
Okay.
Well. Soon.
Was it up off of Hillcrest?
Was, but it was.
Yeah, conversation about.
It's right up, yes, that did come across as a complaint, so we know about that one.
Okay.
And we did foil the state police for their record of that and what happened.
And no.
Yeah, and then other than that, we're just in dealing with all kinds of enforcement action, so that's what's occupied our time for the last 3 weeks.
Oh, the arcade on Main Street
Crazy.
has been one of your favorite spots.
We're past that one.
Um,
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, still, August, so, yeah. So fortunately, that's the way that.
But they
So
actually.
you know where you're right, so you don't.
So it is.
We have-
Have to
look down the shelves.
The minimum.
Wow,
Yes. Okay, that's it for us. You guys have questions?
I have one to bring up that's related to their office, like it's here, and I just emailed you the as the response. I don't think you guys were CC'd on, but Doug Dreisiacker, who's the code general manager of again, does this ring a bell?
No.
He wrote, do you ring a bell to the board there? So he wrote an email to the town board and then CC'd like other major hoteliers, so like Jeff Webb, or at least maybe a couple other ones on there, and it was. For being recorded, it was about short-term rentals. But it was like if you took Jason, this was Jason's comment. Jason, God said it.
When you have a conversation. Not off the record.
I'll agree with Jason's comment, say that, that it's like, so he wrote it 10 years ago. Like,
That's the impression I got.
like he
Yeah.
didn't, I will stop talking because we're on the record. Anyways, there's a response that Jackie, Chat and I drafted that the four of you have in your inbox. And Jackie would like to send it as a joint board response. And
Recognizing everything we've gone
yeah,
through.
basically it like highlights like what we've done. I'm not sure he knew it was a lot.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, to reiterate what she's saying, that was my first impression.
Yeah.
Data on this, is I always saw them receive my
I
thing
think
from
Jason's
4 years
stuff
ago.
in his inbox.
You know, something just come across.
Yeah, and I think it would benefit him if he was brought up to speed as what. We have
I don't
on the
know very
books.
well.
Huh?
I don't know.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's aware or what sparked the conversation.
it was, you know, maybe was initiated by somebody else.
Well, he's a pastor.
But so read it, and I think like it highlights, well, it talks about how what we did in 2019, and then, no, 2020.
No, 2020.
And then 23, and then like. Then we had to delay it, we had to delay the enactment of it. And then we did it again in 23, and then and specifically in 23, like the no unhosted in town, or, you know,
Right.
all those things. And then it goes on to very clearly say, your letter also fails to offer any guidance or suggestion of what we should be doing. Like, so if you have any ideas, please let us know.
Did you, when you wrote it in the chat, did you say?
Jackie did, and then I made it meaner.
And you,
There's Emily mode. I did like
by
Emily.
speaking to Jackie, is there any room in the letter for when she said you and she and some other people get together to review the data and make suggestions for
This seems good.
what other further restrictions or thinning the restrictions or.
Yeah, and you know, like a long time ago, it was the concept was the housing committee would be the committee that kind of reviewed that. But the housing committee doesn't really, I mean, like, we'll want to get rid of all committees.
Right.
But the housing committee hadn't met for like 2 or 3 years just because there wasn't a lot for them to do. So I don't know who would be the reviewer of that. I mean, I think it's kind of the town and the village board will be hearing comments, especially if they come through this office of something that's not working, then we address it, which is like the most recent one that we're gonna be revising is allowing ADUs to be short-term rentals, like that came from conversations that we heard with the and pushback from 2023 short-term rental law. And so we're acting on that, and it took 2 years, but that's the pace of government. So I'm not against that, I think that's a good idea, it just seems like it naturally occurs because we don't have standing committees.
Are you thinking more of an at least a very information session to get?
To show that we're somewhat proactive in this,
Sure.
that we're just, I guess,
Proactive to adjusting it where
Correct.
it needs it, yeah.
right, and I wouldn't call it proactive. It's hard to be proactive.
But we
but-
protected neighborhoods, we moved.
Right.
We moved the rental or the short-term rentals to gateway corridors and commercial districts. So,
But if I have a concern about PDs, can we restrict PDs? I know that's a.
that's an
kind of-
ongoing topic.
Right.
They're actually listed
Mhm.
in
Right.
short-term rental,
They-
yes, they are.
As they're
And
okay.
one, some is they're okay, some is they're not okay. But the
Correct.
peaks is no, valley is no,
Peaks.
peaks is no.
Yeah,
Right now,
Back to the point.
maybe just some sort of information, like where there's a map where. The different sort of areas where they're found and.
Len's responsibility.
That's the guy who's done all these things.
But I don't think, if you were to say, let's get an update of where we're at, or, we'd have to invest. Consolidate.
All right, let's keep moving.
Yeah, so, okay, so they are
Anyways,
listed.
But I think Doug wrote that ago, so if you guys can just say yay or nay within the next.
Thank
Many
you.
thanks.
You're welcome.
I meet tomorrow morning. I don't do stuff.
No, you do things.
Come on up, Park District.
It'll be done at around 8 o'clock tonight.
I do not have a lot
Well,
of.
this one's not on me.
You're the one that always. Yes.
It's house, but it's less.
Really want to have.
So what's happening?
What's not?
Yeah.
So we have to start Camp Placid, and then obviously there's some overlap with that to the beach too.
Anybody want some serotonin? There's some lovely pictures on the computer screen.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I thought you were gonna
This.
tell us the beach, Adrian. I was like, oh.
Every week we have photos. It's all online.
So this was the.
Monday,
run.
the
our
festival
color run
colors.
day,
Was it yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes,
or I don't know. It was this week.
It was
Tuesday.
yes.
Monday.
it's fun one. It was Monday.
Tuesday?
It was Monday, yeah, I remember because. Scrub Finn.
Yeah, I'm sure. I was like, oh, I'm waiting for a call from parents saying when they're closed.
Yeah, he didn't like it, I'm like, it's-
Have an ophthalmologist
Yes.
next station. Yeah, really.
no,
So we had our spot inspection last week, both Camp Placid and the beach, and then had but not the beach related to the camp, that was separately, but so we had, as usual, just some minor violations that have already been addressed within the first day or two received, and we've already submitted those back, so everything's in good standing there.
We're very impressed with how we're running everything.
Yeah, they came back and did the beach assessment with the camp. Flying Colors, probably one of the best beach organization structures that they've seen this year, which is critically important because the last DOH guidance that came out last week was for a pretty significant number of near drownings at kids camps across the park. So they did come back and do another spot inspection of the beach Tuesday. Yeah,
Did you
Tuesday.
introduce them to Diane?
What's that?
Did you introduce them to Diane? Because that's all I would
I know.
Yeah.
She wasn't here.
She wasn't there, but so Kristen came back and because the state had mandated local offices to re-canvass kids camps to have them look again at the beaches, given that there have been so many near drownings. So again, we passed Flying Colors on the kids side, but it did bring up a conversation that Jim and I had to meet with her on at the beach, in that the way that the beach is zoned by depth and view from the chair, while there were less than 50 people in the water, so we had one person in the chair, the other lifeguards were on break. One of those swimmers crossed into the deep end. And if you had one swimmer in another zone, that required a second lifeguard to be in the tower. Which is, yes,
They were bathroom.
while we want to be safe. The tower has clear vision to all of the zones there. And so it's, as I've learned this year with conversations with Brianna and Kristen, is that while we are writing our safety plans by taking 6.2 into consideration, 6.2 is also extremely old and outdated. We may be self-limiting ourselves and could actually free up in language that would still meet DOH guidelines that Kristen would be okay with, but still provide adequate coverage and sight vision for the beach and for the zones. So there's we'll have to have some more discussions, but I think we can do some things maybe a little bit different next year in terms of plan to allow for simple situations like that, where it's just one person is now
Only on
required.
youth days.
No, this didn't have anything to do with the youth camp. Youth camp was fine.
Okay.
They were good. This was just general supervision of the rest of the beach area. So we, so right now, Jim's able to take corrective measures within the scheduling of the lifeguards and the times of their rotation to allow a person to be off break if somebody crosses over into the zone in a low use scenario,
Okay.
which is usually like a midweek. There's not a lot of people there, and so, and particularly in the morning, so. So we can cover it this year, but I think that we can make some adjustments there for next year. So Adrian has been doing a lot of number crunching. As one of the benefits of running things with a little bit more clarity and expectations. Well, Adrian can give you the numbers exactly, but I mean, we're at over 20%, I think closer to 25% of parents who are not doing what they said they would do.
On the form.
Saying that they were gonna be here for X number of weeks, and over 20% are not doing it. So,
I mean, absentee.
yep,
What were the numbers? So they have,
Depends on the week. Week 1, we averaged 28%, week 2, 39%, week 3, 34%.
and this is all grade, all group.
That's all group levels. I did separate out the age group because those are kids that don't necessarily, they can be alone at that age. So the 13 to 14 to older age group was significantly higher than that. Just on, I mean, I have it broken down by day. 7-14.
So you don't have to go into those.
52%, but 7-18, 87%, we had like one of those.
Is there a trend? Monday, Friday.
Oh, Monday.
No, just based on that, this is a quick question though. Do you feel like maybe those spots could be opened up to a younger group since there would be more attendance? Or you think just keeping it the same and then bringing in a pay model?
well, yeah,
Do
so I
that.
think, I think there's a whole variety of things that we need to do for next year. And one of them is being recorded, but I mean, we have to go to a paper.
Yeah.
There's just no question about it.
I've been
And-
communicating with parents that to anticipate that next
Yeah,
year.
it has to happen.
That's a lot.
And
And pay per.
pay per week.
Yeah.
And I think, again, these are all just some ideas too, but signups by week. Get rid of the older part of the camp where those kids can really be self-managed and or already going to other camps, and so they're only at Camp Pleasant very limited time.
Sorry to interrupt, but
Numbers.
when you say pay by week, but it's still pre-registration, so
yeah.
Pre-registration.
it's not like you can come in the third week and.
Right, no.
Because we have to have staffing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that like flat rate for the summer, you're paying like
No,
$20 a
right.
week or $25 a week, so you're actually like. you're paying-
there would
Yeah,
be more respect for
Yeah,
the time and the
I
staff.
think, I even think that level is too low, because I think it actually has to be financially prohibitive
Yeah.
for people to just
Just come and go.
come and go as they choose. And I think, so there's a lot of things there, but I think that money then really needs to go back to actually raising the actual counselor salary.
Yeah.
From that 1680 to get it up into probably the 20 or low 20s. It would be good.
Well, the pay salary increasing, but also maybe expand.
Well, then the whole point, right, if we had a higher
Experience.
salary, then we would get some more experienced people, maybe some older kids that have a year or two of experience working at other places in town, so their rates have gone up, but we might be able to get some of those kids back. Because we actually offer a.
I mean, increase the actual number of counselors so we can have.
Correct.
as well.
Yeah,
We've had a lot of absenteeism in that area as well.
we have a pretty significant issue, it's the same thing if, I know I only just had it this morning, but. In Jim's report about the beach and the lifeguards as well, yeah, during the interview process, yes, you're committed to these times. As soon as we hired them, it's all of a sudden,
Oh, I need
well,
day,
I
day,
need
day
this
off.
week, that
Yeah.
week off, they can't come in at all on Wednesday and.
Derek
yeah,
wants that.
yeah.
Losing almost half of our counselors in August.
Talk a little bit about that, so I understand, can we make it to the end of this season?
Well, this and we can, but only in a way of like the grace of God, because we're already over enrolled at the
Right.
later in the summer. So the fact that we have counselors that are not here, but we have more absenteeism, that's actually gonna bring our numbers into alignment. That we can actually.
We were gonna have to go.
We were gonna have
over
to
that.
actually work the camp as counselors because the numbers are so high.
But if people actually start showing up and for some reason the absentee trend changes, then you would.
Then we are
Then
gonna
we
have
would
to
still,
go and.
yes, then we would have to. So. And I,
Other
sorry, I was,
numbers too, just
oh, yeah,
other factor of wanting more experienced counselors as well is we've had 4 separate parent meetings for disciplinary actions. And 2 suspension for inappropriate behavior. And it's hard to ask a 16-year-old counselor to handle that stuff. We have handled.
and not that we would expect them to handle it, but when I think, when you're saying handle it, it's the immediacy of it. They were standing
Yeah.
right there.
It's been difficult.
Is it a
And we've
direct-
had,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and we've had confrontations with parents too, with Alicia at camp. Either before the start of camp or at the end of the day. And that is also problematic because those are 2 of the busiest times of the day. I mean, that's when everybody's coming in or everybody's leaving, their sign out, sign in and everything, you know. And then to have her be pulled to the side and then be accused later of not paying attention to what a parent's saying. It's like, I've got 100 kids coming in the door right now. Like that's, we can talk about this, but we gotta talk about it in a meeting.
Together.
I'll have to push that back, because as a parent. Especially if we're gonna be charging for it, so it's going to be a process where you want to ensure, if it's free, there's some sort of process we'll schedule. But if it's more of an immediate sort of thing, there seems to be a desire to be addressed quickly. And pulling off
I'm
the side.
still gonna push back on that because none of the situations other than where we actually had inappropriate touching. That's an immediate. If somebody's saying, well, you know, I'm hearing things or I'm getting, you know, which we've had a bunch of a number of parents. But we ask and we hear what that is and we ask the counselors, we find out whether or not those things are happening. That can't happen in the 15 minutes at drop off.
But if we somehow. I'm agreeing with you, okay, but if we somehow convey that right up front. In other words, to parents, guardian, whatever, if you have concerns. That are not in our definition immediate. Require immediate attention, we will glad you within an appropriate amount of time. Meet with you,
Sure.
you know, something like that.
Sure, we just can't
Well,
pull someone
no.
watching kids off to.
No.
No, that's what I
Mom
mean,
and dad.
that's what I'm saying. But
Well, you can't have that, I understand not having a meeting, but having a parent be heard. And then schedule an appointment, I think that would be one, as a teacher, this happens to all the time, is one, to assure the parents, okay, I hear you, I understand what your situation is. We can talk about it more in depth, but also I will be more aware of what the situation is, so it brings attention and awareness to
But
it.
Jason, that would never happen like when you're teaching a class, that's what they're saying.
All the time.
A parent
No,
come to you
when
when
you're
they're teaching,
supposed
you
to be
don't
watching.
enter the school, how would you do
No, I've had sort of situations where I've had parents talk to me, and the thing is, I'm just like, well, why don't you talk to someone? That's the worst thing you can possibly.
No, they're saying that
That's what I'm, that's what
that
I'm saying.
Alicia can't be pulled away from the camp to have a conversation.
To have a meeting, yes, but to have a conversation about this and say,
Yeah, but
we're gonna.
Jason, that doesn't happen that way because. When they pull her aside, it's not like 2 minutes.
yeah,
It's
No, it's
a
never,
15,
yeah.
it's a 10, 15, 20-minute conversation. The parent doesn't just stop.
yeah, once.
Once they have her attention, it's gonna go for a half an hour, 45 minutes.
And I can see that,
That's-
whereas, once you start a conversation. On that parent. Their perception would be, yeah, I'm just gonna make it quick, and then all of a sudden it expands into.
But I also don't think it's a bad idea to communicate to them that ahead of time.
That's
What
what I mean.
Jason's saying, like, if
That's
you
what I
have any issues, please reach out by email, we just don't have time to pick up or drop.
Or a phone.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, she's
Calling
she's
her.
also getting, 50 text messages a day from parents that are
That's-
picking up and
that's
dropping
tough.
off early or late and
Yeah.
it, so she can't.
But that's where I was like, the whole call. Just like that number for that particular, say, action.
Mhm.
I felt was probably challenging, because I felt like it was more of a communication tool for within the town services, like you reaching out to her or her reaching out to other people. Having parents directly communicating with her and knowing that it's her number now and texting, I felt like. That would have been challenging for her.
It's the North Elba's.
Oh, I know,
phone number.
but she answers it. I think people have associated.
Oh,
I get to bring to the head of the camp. That's not necessarily fair for her. I get that.
Yeah.
Well, it's like anything.
Somebody has to
okay.
manage it.
All
She
the-
has-
I hear you
and
saying
in
that.
those situations, she has to make the decision.
Yeah.
On whether or not, whatever the parent's saying is the drop off, the pick up, the early, the late, like she's the one that has to manage that, so it's hard. To have her not.
But I just want to be, but like, you would know this and you know this, if you were having a concern. And the person, the teacher goes, well, email and call with the principal, we'll set up a meeting. Would you walk away feeling super awesome about that? Would you feel?
But they're
super awesome?
talking.
No, I'm just saying, let's just say like,
So they're talking to Alicia, Alicia's saying,
no,
talk
at
to them
that,
later.
at that moment.
At that moment, I
But the principal would
would
never
normally
do
just
that,
say,
or-
hey, I have a concern, can we schedule something? I wouldn't try to like have that conversation right
You put together some recommendations.
now.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's
Yeah.
a lot of,
The other-
there's been a lot
It's
of.
like, it's like you said 10 minutes ago, there's things that you wanna do next year.
We're gonna have
week and
a,
everything.
I keep calling it a postmortem, we're gonna have a postmortem.
Briefing on all of this, because we have to make some.
Yeah.
Choices
There's gonna
that
be
the
some
board is gonna have to be on board with about how we operate.
Now we have a very structured, successful
Very.
summer program. And these are the symptoms that come up.
Now you're seeing the things that
So-
you want.
That you should have an end of the year survey, like for all the
Yeah.
parents that will, that has a lot of these questions. in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, what do you feel is the best way to address the concern
Many of them are left at the end of the year.
and,
The one other thing is
I just
because,
want to end this, this is a very positive situation, I don't want to say that my conversation or pushback, my overall impression is, it's been fantastic, and this is just the building phase of it. I'll wait to see what.
I'm so glad we have the data and
Yeah, thank you for collecting that too, that
Yes.
is something that was.
we never had numbers like this.
and so the only other thing I wanted to say too is just in case if you have parents or folks that are approaching you all about camp is.
Or
Yeah,
Wait
please,
list.
wait list, yeah, please don't tell them that, well, I've heard that, there might be some openings or we've got some other spaces, because we've all of a sudden had a rash of.
How are
3
you-
or 4 this
Are you
week,
moving through the waiver? Yes.
we're not,
we can't. add
we can't add
We
anything
did
to it, this is the
pull
point, is that we did
some.
pull 2 from the wait list. But right now, because we're losing camper, or we're losing counselors. And we were already over enrolled at the end, we were only just actually, by the grace of God, coming into an alignment of proper ratios.
but you were able to pull two from the wait list.
We did take
We did.
2 off. That's-
We evaluate every week. I would sit with Alicia and say, hey, this is our wait list. These are the weeks where we're at. Where are we at with staffing? Where are we at with people at the end of the weeks? And we pull and we looked at that every.
Yeah.
You
and
made a
so-
comment to me once, not to figure this, but. There's a chance maybe eliminating those older kids.
Just to keep the older.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the potential.
How many in the older
suggestions.
group?
8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's once you
And it
start.
takes another
once you
counselor, so
start
if you
throwing-
pull that, now
once
it's
you
all
start
double.
throwing out those numbers, that's the first thing I thought.
That's why I isolated that age group. 'Cause I know like my daughter's 13. They can be home.
Yeah.
Or doing other things.
Or doing other
Yeah.
things.
Another way of looking at it is that it'd be more impactful if we had 8 more younger.
Yes,
100%.
absolutely.
The last thing on camp that I just wanted to say is we've been averaging around 10 to 14 golfers. Out in Craigwood for each of the sessions, which has been
Wow.
like really positive.
All those photos are in there too.
Yeah, no, although if you go to the Camp Pleasant website, we can see pictures of all the and stuff. But so that's been really, really positive and well received. So then moving on to Mirror Lake Beach, I sent around just Jim's kind of report and some of the suggestions. All of them are potentials and things to think about for next year, about where we might try to pull or create some additional lifeguards. We have had some conversations, and this was also with Kristen. We lose substantial lifeguards down to just Jim and one other lifeguard by the end of the second week in August. So we talked about what we can do to operate with only 2 lifeguards, which would require us removing the deep end, taking the docks out taking the floats out and just having the smaller area. And then we would have to hire somebody who would actually sit there with a clicker and manage the number of people actually in the water. So the lifeguards didn't have to be doing that, they could be focusing on whether people are swimming or drowning.
Just the routes.
Right, that's what I
It's
meant,
blocked
right,
off.
right, exactly, yeah, we'd have to put up some stanchions so that they couldn't go out, and jump at the end of the dock. It would have to keep the people short, closer.
We're not alone in that, Lake Colby is closing their beach mid-August.
And
completely.
so is Wilmington's closing early, and so Jim's reaching out to them to see if any of those lifeguards would want to come over here to close out the rest of the summer here, which would give us some more bodies. I've also he's offering a waterfront safety lifeguard training session, I think next week. And there are 2 people that are in that aren't currently working because they don't have the waterfront certification. So I've offered to pay for that certification for those 2 if they'd be willing to come and work for the last 2.
And are they not, like, are they 16-year-olds? Like, why aren't they?
Yeah, right, they're indoor lifeguards
Oh,
and
he's all
now
doing the like the water.
the deep water, yeah.
So they have some certification, just.
Just not that particular one, and it's like $33 and $35, so I thought. We'll pay for it if you come and work for us.
I actually did quickly look at Jim's thing and I thought it was very thoughtful and, you know, about the silver. What was it?
Yeah.
Brigade.
Silver Brigade, yeah.
But I feel like on the other end of that is the 16 and 17, 18-year-olds who aren't going, 16, 17 who aren't going to college. I know it's not ideal to have 16 and 17-year-olds, but they're like, when I was a lifeguard, that was like the bulk of like how we rounded out the last 2 weeks of August is that you had a bunch of high schoolers. Like you had a select lifeguard and you had a bunch of high schoolers because they weren't going to college.
Right.
And they were here through, through it all.
And again, I feel like we've had this conversation, I think the same issue that we have with the counselors is the same issue that we have with the lifeguards, is that age range doesn't want to get involved with the arguing parents and the people, and just it's a lot, and at 16, 17, they just don't do
And
it.
it's hard for them to commit to the laws.
I think it's a.
This, the whole, like the generation.
Hard to make
So-
15 years old.
So we did discover one thing, and so Kathy's here to hear this too. I'll send this an email to everybody. So 6.2 says that for beachfront, doing a swim test, any lifeguard will do. But for camps, to certify swim test for camp participants, it has to be WSI certified. And we are luckily, the 2 people that have been doing the testing for us are WSI certified, so that's fine. So compliance wise, we're okay. But we are using 2 lifeguards with a higher level of certification, and they've asked to be paid more for having that extra certification and doing that level of testing.
When they're testing.
I think
Yeah, I think they just want it. We carry a level of certification that's higher, and so therefore they're asking for a higher.
Well,
They weren't
just to make sure
required
that
to
they're
have
doing
that
what's happening,
level
huh?
to be hired.
They
It's
wouldn't-
gonna require them to have that one.
Right, but they have to be, it's just that Camp Placid requires 7.2, it's different than 6.2. 7.2 requires it to be a WSI. And so we just were really lucky that the testing people that we had that certification.
But the other ones that are asking for it now.
No, it's just those 2 that are WSI certified, not all, not all.
I see, okay, I understand.
I agree, I think when they're using their WSI. They get a stipend.
Yeah, when they did the testing, and that's what we used to do with Janine too, it's like when she did the testing, she got paid a different rate.
So every Tuesday, there's new kids that need testing,
Right.
it takes a half hour.
Right.
Then they can
But
get
also,
paid
can we reach out to other municipalities, the beaches, to see if they're rewarding their.
No,
lifeguards?
I mean, we have a past practice of rewarding that, like when you need that certification.
But I just wanna see what-
When you need it.
No, I wanna see what
Say
other,
pay them, so we keep them.
well, yeah, that was many other places have.
Yeah, so I think we just.
No, but if they're
Right, some
paying
of
for
them
that
send their camps to
certification.
us,
Oh,
but that was
Just wanna
my
know if they're
concern,
paying for
right,
the
is that
certification, that's all.
if we want them coming back next year, that was my Vegas.
prefer them, not to- well, us not to nickel and dime that, we can just. rate the program
We have
based on
a
that.
policy that our seasonal rate for 24 and 25 is $23.
Sure.
There, we don't have
That's
it
the thing,
when our.
then Lake Clear, whatever, they're paying WSI. Certification, if they're rewarding their lifeguards, whether they use it or not. That's something we have to look at too.
I agree.
It boils down to retention.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I think according to
So-
Kristen, she did say that there's. paid for
And
that.
this is, and frankly, this is where this is coming from, is because
It's like, you gotta get paid
like,
more.
you guys should be being paid,
Thank you.
Kristen, so now they're like, we should get paid more.
No, because that's the
So-
point, like I said, Derek says, that's a retention thing, so if other municipalities are paying for that. Just because you had a certification, but 25 cents an hour, whatever, then.
So,
I don't think it's 25 cents an hour that they're asking.
No, I think that number
so. So I know we can't make a decision here, but I also don't think it can wait until August 12th. So I can send an email around. West, you guys can debate, discuss.
So can you
Yes.
find out that information? For us? The other beaches, if they're rewarding their lifeguards
We can
for that.
ask Jim, but again, I don't know if they're being used in that way.
But it
I
doesn't
think
matter,
that
it
the
doesn't,
answer
it doesn't
is-
matter.
Depends on how we look
They can
at
get
it.
paid $1 more an hour for when they are using that certification, that is what I. And they will get a raise
Oh, no.
next year.
But I'm not disagreeing with you, but I wanna find out, you know. With the retention part, if somebody can say, I have that certification. And I can go to work someplace else and make X number of dollars work just for having that certification.
Yeah.
They're gonna go,
But they have to use it. I mean,
but do they have to use it?
yes, because you don't have to be a WSI.
I think what.
Yeah, but if they're,
We're just getting paid.
if other municipalities are rewarding that, we should look at that.
We should be competitive.
Yeah. that's
We're
the point.
over competitive, we pay $23 an hour. That's not what Wilmington's paying, that's not what Lake Coleman's paying.
Well, the
Well, I
point
think
is,
it's sort of a preference thing that's preventing from working here. So,
Yeah.
among it.
I just wanna gather the data to see if that exists. That's all I wanna know. Whether we act upon it or not, we should know if that enters into payment, the salary or whatever, compensation.
I'm saying that I'm willing to give them something now, and that would be $1 more an hour when they do Camp Placid.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I just wanna know that.
So would you, I mean, so you're saying, so you say pay them now and we can kind of go back to see how many times that they've done that and pay them for that, but then in conjunction with budget time. Kind of recalibrate what we pay, those are the sort of.
We're gonna have to look at seasonal pay again, because we did a 2 year.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
right, I mean,
And that's the thing.
I got suggestions.
If we're already paying a lot more than given town that does reward them for having that, it's mute. But if we're to stay competitive and for retention, we need to know that.
Find out.
Okay.
I'll send it around an email.
Just don't reply to all this.
Craigwood, so on to Craigwood, so the new motor is here, but the pump is still not here. So they're still watering the back off the front. And Derek and I had some conversation. I mean, that's had obviously some impact on overtime. It's just taking longer to water because now they can't run two systems at the same time. But also Derek, you had mentioned too, I had this conversation with Kathy too, for my understanding of overtime, so even. Front desk staff while they are, or pro shop staff, while they are not exceeding hours, they get overtime because they work holidays.
Right.
So there's still fairly significant overtimes, over 3,000. Just on the pro shop side, just from working holidays. Right, it is what it is, right, it is, what it is, but I'm just saying, I mean, it's.
Yeah, that's not anything new.
So it shouldn't be justification for going to that
Right.
in that category.
So,
In other words,
say that one more
in
time.
other words, our budget covers that for them in the pro shop.
Well, yes and no, remember we had talked before, we've added staff, so there's more staff there, so that it will be higher on holidays. proportionally because we have more staff than we had previously.
They need some water.
Well, they're doing that.
You got
Can they
any
lifeguard?
information?
We'll think.
Cause the guy was easy on him about selling us.
Right, yeah, no, Willis yesterday said that he was hoping to get an update yesterday afternoon, but I didn't hear anything back from Willis yesterday afternoon or this morning,
Yeah.
so I.
If we need to light a
Sure.
fire, give me a.
But otherwise, you know, we fluctuate a bit, like final numbers, obviously, but we're still ahead of where we were last year in terms of revenue. So I'm positive on that side, obviously, we've got new July numbers coming in here in the next couple of days. But it's still, you know, it's been okay, and we've had the dry spell that we've had on prime golf days, it's been helpful. We've only had one day that we really lost. A day that was a prime golfing day because of rain. So,
Yeah.
so that's good, okay. One thing just to bring up, and so this will be something so you guys can be thinking about, but we do need to start talking about wedding planning for 26 and 27 with the new long building. What do we want to do?
That's 27, just to be honest, don't book anything 26.
Well, 26 would be fall 26. Late summer, fall, after the horse show. But yeah, so just coming up with policy, and we're getting requests. I've already had 2 requests for those timeframes, and so I don't know what to tell them at this point, so we're under construction, so we have, you know, we'll have to look at that, but what type of policy is it? Out of town, in town, tax base only, what rates would we do? I mean, I think there's some philosophy that we need to put together
You know,
around that.
Do we wanna step in front of businesses that do weddings, or do we wanna service to our locals here, so there's an affordable place? You know, that's our history. But now we're gonna have a first class building.
Yeah.
Where, for instance, a wedding that was to come here and they wanna bring their own caterer to that kitchen. Can
Bring
mean
their
some
horse
serious
things
revenue.
You know, to.
So. There's.
I did not share it.
It's, I'm just saying, it could happen.
There's just sides of the coin. It'll be the first time we have a valid way of looking at it a couple of ways.
So something that just wanted.
Throw it out.
Thinking about, throw it out there, something to work on. Things at NEAF, obviously rugby itself went well, we had no major injuries here, there was obviously a substantial injury in Saranac with a death. Yeah, had a heart attack,
Wasn't there a ship out?
yeah, but the person that was at request, they were given the option, they had full extremity, feel and motion, and they gave the person the option to be transported themselves, or if they wanted the ambulance, and they chose the ambulance. But my understanding is that everything came back okay, person. And then so far, besides just the issues that we just heard about last night and stuff, that, you know, lacrosse is doing pretty well. At the venue, it's going well. We do have the new security system at the venue, which is great. We got to use it this morning for last night. Just some stupid stuff, dummy locking gates, and people thought they were locked and they got locked in, so they called police called fire called Shannon called Jay. They show up there and just like pick the chain up and open up the gate. But it's gonna cost them a couple $100 for that. But it's nice that the cameras are up and working. And we will get responses from the RFP request on the equipment next week. So far, we've not had any responses. Excuse me, we had one response. They were primarily Bobcat dealer. They offered a tractor, but none of the other equipment. So we really have 0 right now. And who knows how long it'll take. You heard the argument that if you order a truck now, you might get it in 2 years. Some of this equipment is big equipment, you know, whether or not, you know, how readily accessible it is. So I think being able to know which direction we're going, and we'll put pressure on the big John Deere dealer that had the equipment, or that put the initial offer, I should say. Brent's gonna call him to say like, you're gonna get something from you.
Yeah, okay.
So,
When does that do?
I didn't ask the specific days, next week, he was gonna get it, I said, we just have to know what it is. No, I think when Trent sent it out to them, he actually said like, this is due back on the day, and I didn't, okay, I just don't remember what day it was. But I said that we need to know early enough next week so I can get it all to you, so you have a chance to review it before the 12th. Good. Right now. I know, the floor is yours for the next 2 hours and 50 minutes.
I got nothing else.
I can't.
Our district office is too hot.
Yeah.
You have a-
It's
you have
like
a
a
window?
heat blocker in there.
Yes,
of course we do.
He has it on 60, that's a heat set.
True.
I need 60.
Yeah. it's- it's-
And
Like
he's
going
clearing out
like a
tomorrow,
sweater,
I'll be
doing-
in there with my AC.
No, I know, oh, it's totally, yeah. So, yeah, I like, I leave the office, she's beep, beep. I come back in the office, beep, beep.
Passive aggressive.
Yes.
Yeah, so whenever Adrian's able to move this next door, well, I'm sure the wall itself will be crystalline. Just like that.
Worry about the other phone.
And I'm taking.
68, that sounds good, just.
Yeah.
Just like that, yeah.
60.
Thank you both for a whole lot going on.
Lot going on.
It's. Don't know.
I got a phone call from the kids today though, and it made me cry, so it's working.
Yes, so today was pizza day, you got the pizza
Screamed to them.
and. Tell Adrian what everyone feels about pizza. Oh, I love pizza, oh my god.
Awesome.
But you, yeah, you just hear all of them scream at you. That's so good.
That's good.
Kathy,
Thank you all.
feel free to edit.
Adrian, thank you very much.
Yeah, really, yeah.
Adrian, thank you very much, Ben. Looks forward to going.
Yeah, good.
Excited.
So glad, so glad.
I heard just beat it. It was awesome.
I loved it. Those photos are on and did a shout out, publicity, business, and all the businesses.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for waiting.
No problem. I know where else to go. My husband said Florida, we just bought a house. Okay. Oh,
Not to mention that we have
just
some place to go.
signed the offer in Grove Beach.
Nice.
I can see.
I don't go below this.
Perfect time there.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't go below the Mason.
Tampa hit 2 days ago.
Hey, we're going on a cruise to the Southern Caribbean in August, so.
Yeah, but that's like, it's like, you know, that never really changes.
Exactly.
So we interviewed, Amy
Do you want me to
Schuler.
turn this on?
I don't know, is it something, I guess maybe.
Yeah.
Is it already on?
But we
No,
should,
but-
that's being recorded.
But
Yeah.
I just choose first.
We
Too
can,
late.
Too late, right?
Interview.
So.
can you turn that off then?
Sure.
yeah, 3
Apologies.
No, because we're not,
It's
It's just,
Oh,
it's just information. I have nothing important.
No comment.